Why did you go there? And go to the details. What did you do there in Kenya? What was... Talk about 20 minutes in this subject.
Okay. I went to Kenya because I had some friends from the University of Wisconsin who invited me to go there. So I decided that I was going to take them up on their invitation, and so I went there. And when I got there, I applied for jobs. And because I didn't know how long I was going to stay. And they said, okay, well, you know, try to get a job. So I did, and I got hired by the Diocese of Eldoret. The bishop of the Diocese of Eldoret hired me, and then he made the work permit for me. And then I started being a teacher there of English at a girls' Harambee school, 250 miles west of Nairobi, northwest of Nairobi, in a village, like with huts and people playing drums and stuff like that. Yeah, it was a really great, it was one of the best things I ever did. And I taught English, home science, and commerce. And I had a very good working relationship with the other teachers. There was 2 British girls who came over there, so that like kind of helped with somebody like just for English, like to have someone else to sort of relate to. And in the next village there was a Peace Corps worker, girl from Iowa. And so then I had that friend too, and it was really great.
You were comfortable there because America and their condition is not good. The place where you stay and the foods and drinks.
Yeah, it was really hard because in that village they only had like outhouses for the bathrooms. And we stayed like in concrete houses because they know that the teachers need, you know, you can't stay in a hut like if you're a teacher.
In that time as a teacher, did you try to spread the Christianity to the people, or just you were teaching your English and you were trying to get your money? What was your purpose to stay there? What was running? How was running the work?
Yeah, I was just teaching English. I wasn't there to propagate any Catholic agenda. So I just happened to get hired by the Catholics. And of course I participated because, you know, in whatever they had, Mass or whatever, because I already was Catholic. But that's where I saw Muslims. That's where I started to see Muslims and how they lived their life. And then how it made like a real impression on me. The Muslims in Nairobi and the Muslims like in that country. I saw that they had a very good like family life, and they helped each other. And they liked to get married and have families, and the teenagers loved the grandparents, and you know, everybody loves the babies, and just big families. And I noticed that they had a good lifestyle. There was a coup d'etat when I lived there too. In August of 1982, there was a coup d'etat, and there was like a whole bunch of looting and you know, smashing everything in Nairobi. And then I saw how like the Muslim people helped each other and helped rebuild, you know, like their stores and anything that got ruined. So I just remembered that. That's all. Wasn't thinking about anything. Just remembered that that was an impression I got from them. They didn't know me, and I didn't know them. So I did have one friend, she was Ismaili. Ismaili was her religion. And I remember she had like this really beautiful book on one of her tables in her living room. And there was a whole bunch of other stuff on that table, but I asked her, I said, what's that book? Because I noticed it was very beautiful, this book. And she said, oh, that's the Quran. And I was just like, oh, because I'd never seen one. So like this, by now I'm like 24 years old, 25, and I've never seen a Quran. I just noticed it. Just these little things, you know, like I said before, at University of Wisconsin, I met like somebody from a Middle Eastern country, you know, a few people here and there, and I would say like, oh, what about the pilgrimage to Mecca, or, you know, something small, just little bits and pieces that I knew. But then in Kenya it started to get bigger and bigger because they have a large Muslim population over there.
And let's come to Chicago because I stopped there and so.
Okay. So when I came back from Africa, I went to paralegal school in Chicago. And then I got hired at a law firm, and I was a corporate paralegal for 3 years. And I worked at Belandic, Nystein, Richmond, Hauslinger and Young on LaSalle and Clark Street in downtown Chicago. And then I worked at Beatriz Corporation, and it was just another great memory, great teams I worked with.
You said that the company great. What you were doing there? What was your mission, duty in the company?
In Beatriz Company?
Yeah.
Mergers and acquisitions. Corporate paralegal, preparing for the mergers and acquisitions that they were doing.
In that time, you had an economic. I mean, you were poor or medium or. I mean, you were working.
Well,
I had
student loans, so it's like you just never, just your whole check is always gone. You just, pay for your rent, pay for your car, pay for your food, and your student loan. Because I had student loans from University of Wisconsin and then the paralegal school. So I would say poor.
So this home is rental home?
Huh?
This home is rental home?
Where?
Here.
This one here in Dallas?
Yeah.
No, I own this house. My husband and I own it.
That's why I asked you by mix-up. You said you are poor. Okay, you finish your working career. What else? There is something else, or you go to homework story?
Okay, so,
Your life story is finished almost?
my life study.
Yeah, the life story, I'm sorry.
Story?
Yeah.
You mean before I accepted Islam? Before Islam?
Yeah, before Islam, let's say. Then if you finish, we come to the converting to Islam.
Well, yeah, now we're getting to the conversion
All
thing.
right.
So go ahead.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so then it seemed like then I started thinking to myself, well, just there's something wrong in this place. And there's, I don't know, just Friday nights were like for TGIF, that's drinking. Means thank God it's Friday, means drinking. Saturday night means have a date. And Sundays were in front of the TV with beer for the football game. And so I just felt like that was just so empty. And there's just something missing. And actually, I remembered the Muslim people that I saw in Kenya, okay? They don't know me, I don't know them. I just only recognized how was their lifestyle, how they lived their life. So that's when I started to get interested, and I'm like, well, maybe I need to change my religion. And so then I just kind of got some books about other religions, and I just still remembered the people that I saw with the good lifestyle back in Kenya. And I just was like, I'm going to check out, Islam. Okay, so I thought I should go to a mosque in Chicago to get some literature or books or any information. So I looked in the yellow pages of the telephone book, where is the mosque or anything like that. And I found that in right between my job where I was working and the place where I was living, I used to walk to work every day because I lived downtown. And there was a place called the Downtown Islamic Center right in between. I mean, I walked past it every day. It was on the 4th floor of a certain building, so you wouldn't know it was there. But I found it in the phone book. So then I decided Friday night after work I was going to go stop in that place. And so that's what I did, the same week that I looked up what's the address to go to an Islamic center. And so when I got there, there was 4 guys. They were doing a mailing, folding letters and putting them in envelopes and things like that. And I was just looked in the door, and they're like, "Can we help you?" And I was just like, "Well, I just wanted to get some books or literature on Islam. And they're like, here, yeah, take this, and they're giving me books and pamphlets and stuff like that. And then they said, we're going to pray right now. Why don't you watch us pray? And I was like, okay. And so they said, okay, well, why don't you just pray with us? And so they gave me like a scarf to put on, and they put me behind like a curtain, but it was like a curtain you can see through.